With AI, 5G, and edge computing on the rise, what's your vision for the future of digital infrastructure in the next 5 years?
That is something unimaginable. As you see from today, what's happening, world built the compute, and that is the new paradigm of everything today you do.
You have worked across geographies, led customer-facing roles, and even studied theology. How have your personal values influenced your approach to tech leadership?
My spiritual core is my foundation in all aspects of my life, including how I conduct myself, my family, my children, my wife, all, and how I treat others, how I talk to people, everything based on my foundations. The next wave is all about artificial intelligence. Your ability to leverage artificial intelligence as a co-agent or as a support function to achieve business outcomes.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the ITM BTech CSE podcast. I am Pratima Wankhade, and today we have someone with us whose career truly reflects the evolution of technology infrastructure from the core of telecom systems to the edge of cloud-based AI. With over 20 years of experience across global points like Oracle, Nokia, Siemens, and now driving AI cloud adoption at Neysa, please welcome Mr. Rogin Thomas, an expert in cloud networks and everything in between. Sir, your career began with managing core telecom networks across the Middle East and Africa. And how did you shape your approach towards system thinking and infrastructure?
While working in the telecom setup, it was primarily driven to achieve business outcomes. For example, laying out a mobile infrastructure to enable a mobile operator to start a mobile operating services. The critical element to do that was to set up the infrastructure as well as running reliable services on top of it. So we always, in the design process, a component of planning used to be the design of the hardware, the infrastructure, the platform to run it. Many of the applications which we built were proprietary or stack based, but the infrastructure typically were open source. Like you could go from the commodity hardwares available like Dell and the HPs of the world, and we would size the hardware to ensure that there is scalability and there is high availability, because telecom networks were required to achieve all that. In fact, geo redundancy as well, because telecom is requires reliabilities of 5 nines. So in that perspective, infrastructure sizing and design was a very important aspect while designing telecom networks.
You spent more than a decade at Oracle. So, where you worked across IAM, OCI, and cloud engineering roles. So, what were some key challenges or wins that we can say from that phase of your journey?
So, I actually started my work there in a communications space itself. So, where I was focused in selling or solutioning applications for telecom operators or service provider companies. There, the approach was selling use cases and business outcomes. Then I transitioned into the cloud engineering or the database area, where the approach was mostly related to ensure how they can build or they can scale their databases to achieve business outcomes. I mean the applications which run on top of the databases. So that was more a functioning there. And then also I started, transition into cloud engineering, where the complete stack comes into play. You have the infrastructure, you have the core database services, and even the application hosting on top of it. So it's a varied experience. I mean, I'm happy you could note that, and it's by God's grace that I was able to move into all these areas and have those conversations with customers and position the correct the differentiation which Oracle was providing to them, and and to support them in their cloud journey. So that's how I made that. Yeah.
So today you are leading AI cloud solutioning at Neysa. What excites you the most about this role, and how is it different from traditional cloud consulting?
So traditional cloud consulting is primarily focused into general purpose compute. Okay, the focus always remain on CPU assets. But now with the breakout, I would call it, of the AI based approach where organizations want to achieve outcomes in a faster and a more conversant form of way, and do things, achieve outcomes faster. GPU is the baseline infrastructure you need, and along with GPU, the networking, the storage, and the complete stack required to run GPU also changes. So that is the differentiation here. Here, what I see, as part of this new role, and plus the benefit of, or the what drives me to go to office every day and to keep me energized is the ability to converse with startup organizations, large enterprises, government bodies, and also enterprises, and also education bodies. Okay, this is a sector which I have never worked in my past, and that is the opportunity I'm able to work with ITM now. So I never worked with the education institution in the past, able to see what are they doing in AI and how they are achieving outcomes or new business opportunities they're able to create because of AI. So, I mean, that is fascinating. I've never seen this ability to do that. So, I'm working today with large research bodies within India, IITs and Institute of Sciences, universities, and they are completely in this, in this effort to make AI available to everybody. So, that is the new space for me completely.
That was really interesting. Yeah, and at ITM BTech CSE, we are encouraged to explore cloud computing, APIs, and DevOps, but also leadership and client interactions. So, how can students start thinking like tech consultants and not just coders?
Yes. So, for that, you always need to look at things from a business outcome perspective. I would always, whenever I speak, what is the outcome you are delivering to the end user? Outcome has a subset of value also, and service delight, you can call that, because end of the day it is that person somebody who is going to consume it, and somebody is going to pay you for that. So you always have to think in those terms while we converse with, and consultants are all about delivering value. It is not a product, it is not a service. If he finds something better than something which is available in the market, and you innovating on the service which you already have, they will always come to you. If you do things faster, you do things at a lower cost, and you do things, listen to the customer always, customer will always come back to you, because that's how he is also differentiating in the market. So everybody end of the day has to show value, and that is the value journey everybody has to. Likewise, the people who are doing coding has to show what value they are offering to their customers, and that conversation is a value conversation. Then business happens by itself. That's what I believe. Yeah.
So you have worked across geographies, led customer-facing roles, and even studied theology. How have your personal values influenced your approach to tech leadership?
I would say entirely. My spiritual core is, I would say, has been my spiritual core. The foundation. My spiritual core is my foundation in all aspects of my life, including how I conduct myself, my family, my children, my wife. So all, and how I treat others, how I talk to people, everything is based on my foundations as a Christian, and how I conduct myself in the world. Right? What is my role here? What is my purpose here? All that is defined by that. And obviously it's a journey. So I'm trying to make adjustments or corrections in the process while I do. So that's the answer to that.
So finally, with AI, 5G and edge computing on the rise, what's your vision for the future of digital infrastructure in the next 5 years?
That is something unimaginable. So as you see from today, what happening, world built the compute, and that is the new paradigm of everything today you do in the IT development, coding, what all you call it. Now the next wave is all about artificial intelligence. Your ability to leverage artificial intelligence as a co-agent or as a support function to achieve business outcomes. So that to achieve that, you require a separate form of infrastructure and capabilities. So the world is now building that. And again, there is a big element of sovereignty connected to it. So there is, so yesterday only I read a report in which China is leading, India is not in the top 10. So in infrastructure, Neysa, my organization, is trying its best, or trying to position itself, making it available for developers to use GPU as a service and related services around it. But India is not investing into GPU infrastructure anyway, from that perspective. But you see the likes, the other countries, US is catching up all of a sudden. So that is required, and without that as the core engine, you cannot scale to the next level. For the next 5 years, there will be a big fight of who will have the infrastructure ready for all these developments to happen, and who will be able to achieve outcomes faster. Because where the infrastructure is, your data will be drawn to it, and once you lose your data, you lose everything. So the point is, there is a big role for companies and even the government and the entire the country as a whole to decide which approach we are going to take. So it's like a crossroads sort of inflection point sort of situation, which will determine, and that's why people are madly putting. You can see the kind of investments being planned in the US, billions. 500 billion, 30 billion per annum is the spends they are talking. Each organization is talking to put in AI infrastructure. It is not only just one data center here or there, because they know if they don't do it, somebody else does it, and your data will move to that place. And once your data is gone, you can't bring it back, because they will hook you up and then they control you. You would know that recently, 3 weeks back, Azure stopped one service to be delivered to in India, and that they connected that to the sanctions put on one company, one petro company, who was sanctioned by US government. So that can happen. So tomorrow they stop a service to you, you are trapped. So you need such similar services at least available to India, so that we are not put into some sort of a box that you can't do things. So this is a matter of sovereignty. So you have to consider, and things like AI, as I said, your entire engine will go for a shutdown if you are unable to make. So companies like Neysa and have a vision to make it firstly Indian, sovereign cloud for India, and that's an opportunity. So we have to balance the opportunity of how we do it, how we do AI, but do it in the parameters within sovereignty, again morality, with proper ethics. All that comes into play. It can't be just like a wild west, everybody shooting each other. No. So so next 5 years will determine all that, and I hope it will be a better world for people.
Thank you so much, Rogin sir, for such a thoughtful, grounded interview. From your interview, it reminds us that adaptability is the future of tech.
Absolutely. So thankfully, yes, I got opportunities to make those adaptations in my journey, and while there were challenges, doors will open at the right time.
Thank you so much. And to all our listeners, stay tuned, build smart, stay curious. This is Pratima Wankhede signing off. See you in another episode of the ITM BTech CSE podcast.